Yeah, we back in the building. How y'all doing, man? Welcome back to Healthy Don't Hurt. My name is E-Man. I'll be your host. We're back in the building. We're back in business, and business is booming. Today's topic is locking in your 20s. Now, a lot of people are making videos about locking in your 20s, right? Grinding, hustling, not being distracted, no parties, no women, no experimenting, no drinking, no going out late. You're just completely disciplined, You're like David Goggins. You're like a monk practically for productivity and for executing tasks for progression in your own personal life. It sounds good. It sounds great, right? There's a serious trade-off that comes with that. If you lock in your 20s, you're going to rob yourself of being young, wild, and free. You're going to look up, because I'm 30 right now. You're going to look up and you're going to be 30 years old. You're going to have money, right? I'm not disputing the fact that you're going to be paid and in a good spot financially, but you're going to look up. You're going to have money and all the stuff you wanted, but you're not going to have any experiences, And I feel like that's not talked about enough because you're going to be 30 going out to clubs for the first time. You're going to be 30 experimenting for the first time. You're going to be wild and free, but you're not going to be young, wild, and free, right? When you're young, wild, and free, you can go out till like 4 a.m. and get stumbly drunk and everything's fine, right? Now, if you're in your 30s getting stumbly drunk, people are going to criticize you and look at you like you should have your life together, So it's just something to think about, man. Like, you really rob yourself of those experiences, and you're going to be learning from those experiences for the first time at age 30. You're going to be involving yourself with other people that are 30 that know better, and you're going to be, popping up on the block for the first time. And most of the people that you're hanging around when you go out, they're going to be been there and done that, right? They're going to be seasoned vets at that point, or they're going to be very young, right? They're going to be 23, 24 when you go out to clubs, when you go out to functions and events. And when you go out to clubs, if you lock in your 20s and you don't participate and you wait until you're 30, most of the people at the clubs and at the bars, they're going to be 22, 23. They're going to be between the ages of 21 and 25. So you're going to be like the oldest dude there at every club you go to practically. Not the oldest, but you're going to fit in with the older crowd. There's nothing wrong with that, but it does make you feel kind of uncomfortable, right? Because you don't fit in. Now, you might be able to push your wallet forward, and that might give you an advantage as far as socializing, but do you really want people to only like you for your money or for your car, And you're just not going to be as relatable because everybody else is just starting their lives, and you have, you've been in the work industry for, you've been in your career for 8 years. You already have your house. You're just in a different point in life than everybody else, besides the handful of people that are your age. And let's talk about experimenting, man, because everybody experiments. You experiment with women, you experiment with other things. You guys know what stuff I'm talking about, substances. You try things for the first time, and sometimes it doesn't always work out, right? Sometimes it ends horribly wrong. And you've got to learn a lesson. You see where you went wrong and you make adjustments. You don't want to go through that in your 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be like taking the wrong thing in your 30s and be in a bad spot or have a bad night, because it's one thing to do it in your 20s when you don't have much to lose and your body rebounds differently. It's just completely different when you do that in your 30s. And I would love to know what you guys think, especially those of you that have locked in your 20s. And there's nothing wrong with locking in your 20s. There's nothing wrong with having fun in your 20s. It's just, there's a trade-off. It's just that there is a trade-off, and you have to live with that. And just experimenting in general and getting in different situations, you not knowing how to handle certain situations and certain experiences at the age of 30 might look kind of sad. Because everybody your age has been there and done that. And people even a couple years younger than you have been around the block, whether it's women, whether it's experimenting or just experiences in general. You're just going to be super fresh, at the age of 30. And this is just my opinion. These aren't facts, but I partied, I have fun. Me and my homies, we went out almost every weekend when we were 22 and 23 years old. And especially when we first turned 21, we had a ball. You know, I wouldn't say I went out every weekend when I was 23, but a good bit. You know, I had a good time. All right. And I really don't regret it because I got it all out my system. Now I'm more relaxed. I had a son when I was 25 years old. And that's another thing. You might have a child. If you lock in during your 20s, you might have a child right before you turn 30. And now you can't be free, right? Not only can't you be young, you can't be wild, and you also can't be free because you just never know. You know, if you decide to date and you get married, or if you just knock a woman up on accident, stuff happens. This is life, you know. You will rob yourself of having fun because you grinded during your entire 20s. You know, it's just something to think about. Something to think about. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do y'all think about locking in your 20s? Is it overrated? Or should you wait until you're 30 to go have fun, or to go and buy that car that you always wanted, or to go out and stay up all night, or, you know, just to live life, bro? Because at the end of the day, life is short. Life is so short. I am 30 and I truly realize how short life is. And I appreciate life a lot more now than I did when I was a little younger. I'm starting to understand why they call it a midlife crisis, you know, because I kind of had one a little bit. I wouldn't say it's a midlife crisis, but when you're about to turn 30, you truly realize how much time you do or do not have. And tomorrow's just never promised. And it would be a shame if you locked in during your entire 20s and at age 30, you didn't make it. And it happens, bro. Excuse me. It happens. One of my homies got cancer. You know, he got cancer, like bone cancer, at the age of 29, and he healed by the grace of God. But he was out the picture for a while. We didn't see him at parties, at functions. He was going through it, fighting for his life, bro. You know, and that stuff happens. Imagine if he just locked in during his entire 20s. Now, this dude was very, he was very focused, but he had fun too. You know, he had balance. And I'm a real big fan of people having balance. But yeah, man, like, what can you do? What can you do when you don't have time left? You just have regret. There's nothing you can do. You know, when God calls you, God calls you. There's no negotiating that. There is a lot to be gained by locking in your 20s as far as being financially secure, and just not worrying about your financial future later on down the road. There is some comfort from that. But I think balance should be prioritized. Thank you guys so much for listening to this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's just something to think about because locking in your 20s is just not realistic. And to be real with you, with dating, if you don't date during your 20s and you first start dating when you're 30, you're going to be having a tough time. You're going to be dealing with, you know, ladies that are divorced, ladies with children, ladies that came out of terrible relationships long term. You know, there's a good bit of women that haven't, you know, that haven't experienced poor, bad stuff happening to them with their partners from the past. But, you know, dating in your 30s is just way different than dating in your 20s. You know, the expectations are a lot higher. And if you're a guy that just started dating for the first time and you're just now starting to like learn what love is and all that good stuff, and you're dating and getting serious with women that are in their 30s, they're going to want to get married, and you are just now getting into like, you know, real serious girlfriend or boyfriend status. You know, you haven't even thought about an engagement ring, and they're trying to rush you down the aisle low key because they have limited time left for many things in their lives, which is understandable. But it's a trade-off, man. They ain't talking about the trade-offs. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a wonderful week. I'll catch you guys later. I'm about to go hit some biceps. I'm about to go kill it in the gym. I'll see y'all in the next episode, man. Your boy's out.